For this one, actually, is the subtopic called Relational Database Design and Normalization. I will not go into the detail of normalization, in which is kind of part of relational model theory in terms of how to judge whether a database is in a good design or not based on certain mathematics and theory. But I will wrap up that in terms of relational model design. When we apply relational data model, and actually could be thought of other types of data model as well, we do have 3 types of design process. Whether you are designing a database from already from existing data, right? It could be the case that the company, the organization, or the database you are designing, even the database system is new, but data, you may already have manual data or data in paper, data source available in some other media already, right? So it could be the case that we are designing from having existing data. It could be as well that you are newly designed new system out of nothing. It's like, suppose you might come up with some new business idea, business model, and then you do a company startup. You're thinking of doing some startup business and so on. Then it can be a new system development in which you also you don't have existing data in the past. Okay, and it could be the case as well that you do have database system, existing database system, legacy one, or even not legacy but already in use. But you want to redesign, change the design due to certain new requirements or certain change from the top management and so on. What you are doing in most of your projects, all the 9 projects you presented, right, and working on, I believe they are here. You are not constraining yourself of any existing data, right? You just design the ER model, design the table, design the conceptual, logical design, and so on, without restricting yourself of maybe existing data from paper source or from some other source, without talking about existing database system at all. You are on this situation in which when you go to a real working situation, this situation may not be a majority one, I would say, right? How come that you would join a company or make a company that has no data existing before, right? In that case, maybe only the case you are starting new business, in which I think the chance would be low, right? That not everyone will just start new business all the time, or joining a company that just starts and no existing data, no existing system. Okay, so I want to just emphasize this, that what you have been experienced in your projects are kind of very less or least constraints. You have no data constraints, not that much, in which the real one from existing data, you may need to analyze existing database system, spreadsheets, or anything that they store their own data in some legacy forms, okay? And those will become constraints for your design, okay? And you may need to do some data extraction. You may need to apply data normalization techniques and so on, okay? For this case, I think I already mentioned, it's kind of designing data model from the requirements, from fresh requirements, from the things you just analyze by yourself, think and discuss within the team, right? And transform your ER model, conceptual model into logical design and so on. And when it is for the last case, the redesign of the database system, maybe moving from one system to a better one, migrating. Of course, you may need to migrate old database design schema into newer database design schema because of new requirements, new changes, new technology that you have to adopt or something. Okay, or it can even involve integrating database from several existing ones. Okay, and so on. So this is just to summarize that the project you're doing is just one of the very rare cases that may happen. Okay, keep in mind as well that you may need to apply your knowledge in the other two dimensions. Okay, and this is the thing, and the remaining of these slides, they are good for you if you are very new to the relational data modeling. They are informal design guidelines, and particularly for relational schema, okay, for relational database model. So please try to understand, make some self-study, okay. They are not very difficult to understand. For example, we need to make sure that all the attributes you design, they have clear semantics, clear meanings. They don't have a lot of redundant information, no null values in the design, and so on. Okay, so these are kind of informal guidelines that should be useful for you to consider your own design, whether they are in good forms or not. And that's for this slide.